to the Black Mind Games podcast, episode 282. We have no Allan this week, which means political topics are off the table.
Hooray.
Instead, we have Ben.
Hooray.
I don't know what topics he brings to the table, but I'm assuming it's shittery and fun.
Maybe.
Okay. We also have Josh here.
I thought I was shittery and fun.
No, you're just you're like me, disappointed and
It
cruel.
was just shit, just full of shit. Just. Well, let me just crack open this cold Coca-Cola. There we go.
Need that cold one.
Yeah, I need that cold one.
I'm just gonna sit here and drink my green tea.
I don't have anything.
Speak
I had
about
water.
Speak about cold one. Did anyone ever play that last level of 20xdx from HomestarRunner.com before they took off the Flash?
No.
Oh
No.
man! So the history about that game, it was slowly getting updated over time of like adding more levels to this like anime rip-off video game Mega Man, blue-haired fucking strong bad, and it's just like it made fun of all the anime tropes and all the video game tropes as well. And again, the game was getting updated over time, and then finally they're like, okay, the last level 10 is going to get released like they said a month or something. So people waited and waited and never happened. And it just kept never happening until I forget how many years later. It must have been like 10 or 15 years. And freaking they just released the last level before Flash is going to get taken off the internet. Which this
Boy,
like
talk about holding out to the 11th hour.
I know, it's so like everyone's like, of course these guys would do that. Of course they would. It's so
What
weird.
massive fucking shitters.
Oh, frick. Oh, they're a bit of shitters, yeah. So it was like a week and a half you could play this game. And I'm like, it's kind of a crime you only got a week and a half to play it. But I'm assuming some internet crazy people, got the game. And there's just...
And they converted it to HTML.
Yeah, already converting it, or they ripped it out, and you can already play it in that Flashpoint emulator that's going on right now. And
The irony thing is that I don't think it's that Flash is ripped out. It's just not supported anymore. I don't think
it's
that
not
means they're just
supported.
not updating it. It still works for now.
yeah.
It just means you won't be able to create any new product on it, I guess.
Yeah, well, speaking of fucking not supporting devices, we should talk about recent news. So Amazon is banning Parler. AOC is calling for censorship of social media networks, and the world is burning, and I feel fine.
Isn't that an REM lyric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the fucking truth and simple of it. Advocation for platform diversification, advocation for centralized authorities, and advocation for anything involving censorship of online speech, curtailing free speech, or anything along those lines is wrong.
Exactly. It also kind of shows how
Dumb she is? How fucking stupid she is?
I wouldn't say dumb, but how
Naive?
ruled we are by corporate.
We live in Cyberpunk 2020. And there's no fucking cool shit. There's no fucking mantis arms. I can't shoot a gun out of my hand. There's no implant in my body. Yet we have all of the shitty corporate fucking bullshit where you have people sitting there being like, oh, well, if you don't like it, you can make your own social network. Oh, if you don't like it, you can build your own infrastructure. And it's like, Motherfucker.
But you can't, because then Discover Card won't allow Patreon to, give you your money, and PayPal will fucking block you, and then you won't be able to make any money, and then Amazon will drop you because you have slightly right-leaning views.
And the best part about this is because the only reason why we're having this issue right now is because people in their fucking little echo chambers can't fucking handle a conversation. Like, I'm sorry, if you need people to fucking get banned from from the platform who have an opposition to your fucking point of view, maybe that's a problem with you. The fact that that's a controversial statement proves that you're so fucking stupid. Anyways, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, you have no opinion on this, right?
I practically
okay.
People are gonna do. People on their platform can have whatever golden fence they want, basically. If it's bronze trimmed with gold tips, whatever. Do whatever you want.
Sure, you're allowed to. You're entitled to your opinions, but if you can't, my issue is Amazon. Okay, so the reason why I'm upset is because Amazon recently decided to not host a social media website. Understandable. Okay, that is their infrastructure. They paid for it. But the problem is that Amazon removing these guys had the unnecessary kickback of essentially preventing them from going from anyone. Then there is the hypocrisy of Amazon hosting Twitter while they're hosting a Kill Mike Pence hashtag. Now, I understand that these two things are different, but the thing that Amazon really should be doing is Amazon should not be getting in politics if they're a server hoster. Amazon should not be getting involved. Amazon can get involved on the front-facing side, but really at the end of the day, when you're an SA, you really don't give a shit about politics. You give a shit about the thing fucking working. So, I don't know. I'm pretty annoyed about how we have politicians now sitting there thinking that banning people is somehow moral and justified, and how we need more corporate censorship, more corporate government control, more corporate everything. Meanwhile, we're getting fucked over in the ass. And these people don't seem to understand that, it's going to come for you eventually. It's not fucking hard to see that. Anyways, that just really pissed me off this week, because it's for years we've been hearing this bullshit about well, build your own social network, and everyone could see it fucking coming a mile away. When you do, you're going to have to spend money on infrastructure, and then once you spend money on infrastructure, the actual expensive part, they will eventually just start removing you from DNS services or the financial system or bullshit like that. And it's getting to the point now where it's you're actually going to have to build your own fucking government.
Or where it's in YouTube's thing where Google will just crush you because you can't start up because you don't have the incentive for people to even come to your platform. Vimeo, and there's another one that
Vimeo,
is trying to,
BitChute.
Yeah, BitChute, that's the one I was thinking of. They've been trying to get in on the whole YouTube thing, and it really ain't working for them.
It's all of it is just, it's just dangerous what's happening right now, because right now we're even having governments sitting there recognizing, oh shit, the world is basically controlled by a small section in California that is basically run by idiots. That's what we're learning.
I don't think they're stupid. I think it's that they know what they can get away with, and this is what they can get away with, and they're able to push their agenda and their views on everybody else, and then they're also using their massive, and I mean literally all caps, massive capital to literally influence the government through lobbying and influence everything else because like they all work together. There is no competition in the high end. Like Comcast and Verizon, they don't hate each other. They're not in competition. They're just like, all right, how can we split this 50-50 so that we make more money? And then that's exactly what they do.
We'll take this section of New York and you take that section of New York, and Time Warner will take this section of New York, and everyone else can go fuck themselves. How about that?
Exactly.
The problem is like we really need. This is the one thing where AOC would be perfect for. We really need a Democrat socialist to sit there and say we should break these companies up.
I think the biggest and first required step to gaining back proper capitalism is to remove lobbying.
Sure, let's do it.
That's the absolute first and necessary thing that needs to change.
Well, you know what sucks about that? The only arbiter that we could actually probably hope is one of the squad, and possibly, but AOC runs then, she's basically getting to the point where she's becoming established Democrat. By the way, this is getting a little too political, so yeah.
It's too political? Okay. I mean,
let's go back a bit.
All right, let's roll it back. And then I literally bring in a potentially very political topic, but okay.
We can't be political this episode, Ben. I said the episode was not going to be political.
All right, then I guess we can get out of the way first. Have you heard about the drama with the Uncle Roger persona YouTuber, Nigel something? Nigel Neng?
Is he the guy who does the rice videos, who taught me how to build rice? That man's a patron saint. What did he do that made me upset?
Okay, so he did a video with Strictly Dumpling, Mike Chen. Mike Chen is a very, very, very vocal anti-Chinese government person. He will share articles and all this stuff and actively like goes against the Chinese government. Well, they hate him, obviously. So the Chinese government does everything in their power to potentially make him not be able to get anything done in life. So they get people to bully other people that he works with. They flag his videos, all this shit, you know. It's rough for him, basically. So what happened is he did a collab with Nigel. Well, the problem is that Nigel's fairly new to being in the spotlight, and he bent the knee to China. And he threw him under the bus, and he deleted the video, and then begged for forgiveness from his Chinese audience, and then made a post on Instagram saying that he doesn't care what non-mainlanders think, and on the Chinese Facebook.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start from the top and work our way down. By the way, Josh, what game are you playing right now? While we're talking politics.
Right now I'm surfing.
The new Pokemon?
I'm surfing Twitter. I don't have a new Pokemon.
Oh. I should really get you that.
I need a Switch.
I should just lend you my Switch for like 2 days.
Have you been playing Temtem?
I want to get into it, but I just haven't had the urge. I haven't got the urge to play it yet.
I know what you mean. I played it when it got real big hype, and then I kind of fell out like almost right away.
I gave Josh a copy of Temtem. He bought me a copy of Temtem. I have not played Temtem.
Yeah,
we all need to play Temtem then, because you can actually co-op. So
yeah, the funny thing about the Temtem is that when it first got the hype, I played a little bit of it, then I realized how much everything's locked off, and I was like, I always.
It's also hard.
Yeah,
it's actually difficult.
That's what a lot of people say. They're like, wow, this is actually a challenge, and people are kind of considering like you can have not a baby game version of this, which is like, I totally agree, because I think Pokemon.
Which I wasn't quite ready for, and I was kind of getting dumpstered, and then I just was like, I'm gonna take a break for this, and then I just never came back.
Because for me it was more of like I was just noticing how everything was just locked off and how like early everything was, and like it still looked good, but it was just still early, and I was just like, and I always had that hard rule of don't play anything early access until it's released. Like, I feel that's just a good rule to follow by, because it's like, yeah, you play it early, but you just get burnt out of like the game in the first place, and then once it gets full release, you just don't realize it until like years later. And it's like, I'm not sure if you want that. Maybe you want it full release as soon as it got, like, when it's 1.0. Like, I always a big fan of just play it the day this officially comes out, and then you probably have a better experience than you would being playing early access. Although early access means whatever the fuck you want. So I don't know, you could play early access and just be like, oh, they're just tightening up a few things in the background just to make it better. But yeah, like when I first played it, I'm like, I'm gonna just go back to this a little way later because it feels like it's just not quite done yet.
Yeah, I respect that. I mean, I think there was another game that came out of early access like fairly recently that I picked up that is quite good. God, what was it? Oh, well, I don't remember. Anyway.
I mean, we should just play Temtem. That's all I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Yeah, play Temtem.
But we should probably get Chinese government out of the way.
Well, the Chinese governments. I am to the point where, how do I say this?
Burn it all to the ground?
Well, the problem isn't the people.
There is a how to put it. They actually have like a term for it where it's like nothing you can do about it or something. That's a really really rough translation of it. But they're pretty apathetic to how things are happening. Right, anything is happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, in a way, like it is kind of the people's problem because they're not doing anything about it and they're just kind of like perpetuating the status quo. But then again, like if you don't look at Hong Kong, you just kind of disappear and you don't come back. And I don't think people want that. I can understand.
Mm-hmm. It's something where, like, you think... It's... How do I say it? Everything that comes out of China lately has been so negative. Like, you find out stuff like Apple's using child labor in their factories. You find out that stuff like where the Uyghur Muslims are being forced to make your fucking graphics cards. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not really surprising to me that like people are like sitting there and like Uncle Roger, for the extent, is sitting there and panicking because the Chinese market is a huge market. A lot of people don't want to piss them off, and they're very much the middle class that America used to occupy, where it was scary for a long time if you were an external force to say something offensive to Americans. Now you really can get away with fucking murder. And it's not really that disappointing or surprising to me that this is kind of happening. The one thing I will say is kind of shocking is that the fact that he folded that quickly.
Yeah, it only took him a day and he folded immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I said, like he only recently blew up. Like he hit 3 million subs literally like within less than 6 months of that one viral video, and all of his videos get millions and millions of views. So he's gone from like literally being a nobody with less than like, 33K subscribers to millions. Like instantaneously. So I can understand all of a sudden like getting barraged was just the pure vitriol that like the Chinese government simpers can be will be overwhelming and very scary.
Yeah.
So like I do sympathize with that, but at the same time, man, like grow a fucking spine.
Yeah. Like here's the thing is like the Chinese government, fuck the Chinese government. Just fuck them. Like they're a bunch of pieces of shit. Like I'm going to be dancing when Adolf Hitler 2.0, President Xi Jinping, Winnie the Pooh, whatever the fuck he's called. I think it's Winnie the Pooh. I'm pretty sure that they're run by a bear. Fucking kicks the bucket. Because you know for a fact that like that's going to happen sooner than later, where like he's going to just die.
Yeah.
I hope it's from Corona.
They'll never tell you that, though. They'll be like, he died of natural causes.
He died of Natural causes, totally not of liver failure.
Or he was vomiting blood and couldn't breathe.
Oh, yeah. He died of respiratory failure. So, coronavirus. So,
No, he was a very heavy smoker. He died of lung cancer. That's much more acceptable.
like Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, probably. Dude, I actually made a joke about the North Korea not having to worry about coronavirus because nobody's allowed in or out anyway. Oh, that actually, speaking of the coronavirus shit, have you heard about the Altarian shit? Or Altarian, however I say that fucking word. Crazy shit that's going on in South Korea with what they're doing with their. You have to scan QR codes with your phone whenever you go out. Everywhere you go, every building you walk in, every time you go to get groceries, scan a QR code with your phone, and then they can track exactly where you've been and who you come in contact with, so that they can track your whatever with your fucking getting, if you get coronavirus. Basically, they could just literally just go down and Big Brother you, basically.
Yep.
And like they're just completely cool with that. I'm just like, should we be though? I hope this doesn't happen in America.
I mean,
the thing is, like, you can't even like go in places in Korea unless you like willingly scan your QR code. But then again, I guess if people can't mandate follow masks, they're not going to do that either. So, I love watching all the videos of the people getting like arrested because they won't wear masks in restaurants and shit.
I just love. My favorite part is like it's gonna happen. You know that Joe Biden, his first day in presidential office, he's gonna do that.
Is reinitiate lockdown?
Oh yeah, he's gonna do a lockdown. He's gonna fucking make sure that you guys can't fucking. He's gonna destroy it's gonna be great. Get ready for 6 weeks of Ben being on the show, talking about how horrible the lockdown is. Just joking.
I don't leave my house to begin with, so
yeah,
I am the American NEAT. So what can I say?
Perfect.
Can we move on to another topic?
Sure.
We can talk about Paradise Killer, a game that I'm looking up on Steam.
it's so synthwave that but here's the thing: if you Google synthwave and you see the images in Google Images, I would say it's close to that, but I'd say it's more pastel in looks.
This looks like the perfect game to give a girl who.
It is a murder mystery, and it's a walking simulator.
Oh.
But here's the thing:
though.
I've been playing it for about an hour, and I do like the whole thing. Like, the feel is pretty good, the murder mystery is pretty good. My first hour was just walking around and just like checking out basically all the different places you can go around, walk around. You can jump and you can crouch rock, so you can get into places you feel like you're not supposed to, but they design it that way, so that's kind of neat. And there's also a whole bunch of stuff going on in that game that I think there's a whole lot of like hidden meaning within everything, because the main character you're playing as is Lady, what's her name? Lady Killer. You're basically just this investigator. And you've been thrown to exile for 3 million days. 3 million days, that's a lot of days. And apparently in this weird universe, people don't really seem to age. They just get birthed, and this is what you are, and this is what you do. And the lady that you're playing as, you're birthed as a investigator / kind of cop. So you take out bad guys, you figure out what's misdeeds been happening, and you try to, sort out the issues. But you've been in exile for so long, and you have your own backstory on that. That's later in the game. But for the way I'm playing it now is just that I'm just exploring the entirety of this island, not even talking to anyone important, to the point that the game itself was like, hey, you should probably really talk to this person right now. You can have, the game is very 80 synthwave. So he will come up on your laptop. Your laptop is like your pseudo cell phone. and the laptop will ring, and you whip it open, and the person's like, "You should really fucking talk to me, you idiot." I'm like, no, I don't wanna. Although
It's bullying you. It's like, hey, you want to play the game yet? And it's like, no.
no. Well,
No, you're not allowed to play the game.
here's the thing, and this is when you're exploring the whole island and all the artwork and all this junk going around. There's collectibles of, hey, you collect these demon, I think they're called demon blood, or blood crystals, sorry. You collect the blood crystals, and they can give you, like, hints of where to go. It unlocks fast travel points for you. It gives you, what else? You can get stuff from the vending machines, and the vending machines unlocks, like, memoirs or memories of, like, more history about the island and what this weird island system's going on. Apparently, the island system is, again, this game's weird as fuck. It's all about these gods, quote unquote, are trying to make the paradise perfectly, and they're constantly resetting the paradise over and over just so they can try to find that perfect paradise. And you're on Paradise 25, and that's when shit goes awry, where these gods who are trying to make the paradises, they all died at the same time because they all went to their penthouse, and they are like, "Oh man, I'm so tired of making this new island again. I'm just going to my penthouse and meditate. Yeah, let's all do the same thing." And then they all got fucking killed.
You know what, Josh? You said something really wrong. You called the game a walking simulator.
Uh-huh.
Death Stranding is a walking simulator, bud. You literally have gameplay for walking. We need to come up with a new idea for walking simulators.
I'm sure.
I think Death Stranding's more than a walking simulator, though. Like, the walking isn't like,
yeah, here's
how to put it. It's like having a road trip. It's literally more like road trip simulator more than it's like, actually, if you think about it, it's more like a job.
Yeah, job simulator. I agree.
But I'm just saying,
But
we need to come up with a different name for walking simulators, because those games they have no gameplay. They're interactive storybooks.
sure.
I would actually
but
probably
that
like this game that you're talking about, because I've been replaying Phoenix Wright again, and fuck yeah, dude, I love Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Although I've been watching, just a little bit on, just a little bit on Phoenix Wright. I was watching a YouTube channel, Jello-Ocalypse. I think that's the name. Jello-Ocalypse has been slowly putting out videos of like him doing let's plays through a whole Phoenix Wright game. Plus, he was doing it with his other voice actor buddies. So they would voice act the lines from the game and, laugh at like how kind of dumb some of the stories are and whatever. And the current one,
some of them are really whack.
Oh yeah, like the current one, their voice acting, it's so shit to the point of like,
only in English, honestly.
yeah, like it's just so shit to the point of like, we know how the thing is happening. We know how it's going down. We don't have to go through all these steps all over again. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I think it's because the initial audience for Phoenix Wright is much younger.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
They made it a little more hand-holdy. And then the actual audience ended growing up, and they never had a chance to like continue with it, because that's just a Nintendo Capcom problem, I forget who makes Phoenix Wright. Is it Capcom? I thought it was.
It is.
Yep, Capcom.
So I think that's just like a Capcom problem. Is like a lot of the stuff is they forget that their audience grows up. And I think that's one of the problems that happen in the later ones. But then again, when I played, what was it? Spirit something? The last one that released, I believe. That one actually gets pretty complicated towards the end. And when you first play through it and you don't know what's happening, it's actually like, man, what the fuck is actually like, what am I looking for here? So I don't know if you play those ones or watch those ones, but the not Dual Destinies. Dual Destinies fucking handholdy as shit. But I think that's because that was like the first one that came out on the 3DS, and so they kind of like were like, hey, new audience, better make sure that this one isn't that hard. And then the next one that they released was a little bit harder. I mean, that's kind of like how it's always been though. Is like the first one is super easy. Like the first Phoenix Wright game is so easy, but then like when you play like the next one, which is Justice for All, the last case is actually like kind of complicated and like very obtuse. And then like it's kind of like the same thing. Like in Justice for All, like it's like the first like tutorial case is actually like fairly complicated. So like the more games that come out on the consoles, the more complicated they get.
Huh. I try to remember which Phoenix Wrights I played. I know I played the first one. I can't remember.
Do you remember anything about the cases? Because I pretty much know all off the top of my head.
Circus Clown?
Was it? When you say Circus Clown, do you mean like Mo, the one with the carrot on his head, the carrot like that he keeps pushing to the side?
No, I just
Or
remember.
are you talking about the one where it's like the woman with the big old titties?
No big titties. It was just like I remember Clown who he likes to joke around, but then he finally snaps and he turns boring.
Oh, because he keeps laughing at his own jokes and nobody laughs at his jokes and he gets really mad. Yeah, that was that's the second game. That's Justice for All.
Okay, yeah. So I know I definitely played like that one. I know I played a few of them, but the only one I think when I last time played it, I got into a loop of constantly failing, and I couldn't understand why I was doing I picking all the things that I thought maybe it was connected to the case, it wasn't working. Then I picked all the items, so it wasn't working, and I was like, "The fuck is going on?" And I realized, oh yeah, so if you picked a certain option at a certain time, you just go into an infinite death loop. I'm like, why is this in the game? Like, shit.
Well, I know that there's one case where like you can actually get like several bad ends.
Yeah.
I think that's the one you're talking about. Is that the one with the assassin, like the final case of where like they kidnap spoilers for an old game, where they kidnap Maya and she's like, you have to like delay the trial to get like for time for the police to find her and all that shit, and like if you do the wrong things, like you just get a bad end, and no matter what you do, it's always a bad end.
Oh, it might have been that one. I just can't remember. It's been so long.
There's if you don't do it just right, you'll bad end, and I think that was them experimenting with like the potential for multiple endings, because that's the only one that has multiple endings, if I remember correctly. There are bad endings, but most of the bad endings just the guilties, not like actually like multiple bad endings. That's the only one I remember with actual multiple bad endings.
So actually, just go back to Paradise Killer. I assume there's multiple endings in this game because it looks like you could point the finger at any character, but you have to collect evidence to figure out who you're going to point your finger at. And so far, yeah, like each character you're talking to is very interesting. The first character you talk to is just simply named Judge, and Judge is what he calls himself is like he melded himself into the island, so he is part of the island, and he talks in metaphorical bullshit constantly. So you kind of understand what he's saying, but you have to take a second to go, okay, I think I get it. Okay, read the next thing. Okay, I think I know what he's saying. Go to read the next thing. I still think I know what you're saying. And yeah, like each person you're talking to, they all have weird mannerisms and weird like talking patterns, and kind of, if anything, it reminds me of Silent Hill. Of like each person, like the Silent Hill is so weird and so stilted that like that stiltedness gives it a sense of unease. And therefore, like, it makes the game even scarier because it's like, why are these people talking in such a weird, stilted way? But it actually ends up giving it a nice atmosphere. Or Paradise Killer also does that kind of same thing because all the people you're talking to are like, just this universe is fucking weird, and you're just trying to decipher who fucking killed who, and that's all you're trying to do. Yeah, so like atmosphere and what the game does, and also you unlock soundtracks, and they're all pretty groovy. Like, yeah,
I
like,
never understood like unlocking soundtracks. It just doesn't mean anything to me.
yeah. I don't know if you're like if you're a big music fan. Although to be fair, the soundtracks are pretty slow because they're meant to be background music, and it's also playing off of the synthwave flavor of the game. So really, it's like you unlock them, and that's cool. But I do find that most of the time I'm hearing it, and I go, that's okay. That's okay. Oh, this is slow. Oh, that's slow. I'm like, where's the speed core? Where's the heavy metal? Where's the grindcore in this shit?
I see what you like.
Where's the freaking EDM noisy ass shit I want? Just the noisiest. Just fart blast.
Fart blast.
Fart blast.
Fart blast.
Yeah. So far, Paradise Killer is super fucking cool, and I'm gonna try to complete it. I think.
How much is it?
It's on sale right now. It's like $15.
Oh, nice. Oh, the Steam Lunar New Year sale is going to be in February, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
So probably going to hold off buying anything until that.
Yeah. Oh, and also I think the artwork is made by one of the people who did Skullgirls because it looks like one of the people from Skullgirls made the artwork. Because
Skullgirls are fucking creepy in like some ways. Like they're like creepy like cute, and it's just weird to me. Like I like the thought of the style, but at the same time I'm like, man, this fucking is weird.
Oh, I know. That's why I was like, man, that's why I was like, I just rubbing my hands. And I'm like, fuck, this game's weird. Let's get in there. I'm like,
this game's weird. Let's do it.
exactly. Actually, that's probably the most biggest driving force in my life of like, I see the normal thing and I go, well, that's fine. But then I see this weird offshoot of the normal thing. I go like, what's that? Let's go.
You're literally the Top Gear meme where he's like, this is great, but I prefer this.
I'm like, I understand this is fine, but this is so much cooler and more character that I care more about than Mr. Shooty Shoot. But this is Mr. Shooty Shoot with gravity mechanics. Oh.
Oh my god.
Mr. Shooty Shoot with gravity mechanics and portal guns.
So this means that you were a very large fan of Lawbreakers until they shut that shit down?
Oh man,
No, Josh never played Lawbreakers.
No, I saw videos of it and I was like, I kind of want to jump in, but I mean, the game had like no advertising, and the
game was whack. Honestly, like I played it for like a week, and it was like trying to be competitive with like the gravity mechanics, but like man, like I don't know.
Yeah,
it was whack.
Here's the thing. I feel that the developers, if they just had more time in the oven, they probably could have ironed out like the bad things about that level design. Because that's just the main gripe I was looking on like the reviews of that game. Is like the level design seems to be like not suited well for what you're trying to do in that game. And another thing, a big knock against that game was the tutorial taught you wrong of how you're supposed to use your shit. So it's like the game is trying. It's like, oh, you can shoot behind you, and you can shoot people behind you, and it's like, no, that's not what you're doing with that. You're using that to move through 3D space. Like you're using it as a boost, not necessarily to shoot people. So it's like, what is it like the game? It just feels like designers were conflicted of what they're trying to teach people and what they're trying to show off, and then there's no fucking advertising for the game at all. So it's like,
There was also an unfortunate lack of content when it came to like to just being produced. Like, I think they were trying to go the CS:GO route with their guns, where like you get the guns and like blah blah blah, and like you buy the guns every round. But like, I don't think that the mainstream like the CS:GO thing anymore. I think that you need to kind of go more in the Call of Duty and like the Tarkov, where like you can kind of customize your guns a lot more, because that makes people more invested in their weapons. And that makes them want to keep playing, because they're like, hey, now my gun is more my gun. It's suited to my playstyle.
I would disagree with that, because Valorant is so first.
I was gonna say, I kind of think the design of the game should have went more arcadey, like in I was gonna say Gatewatch. No, the Blizzard shooter.
Overwatch.
Yeah, Overwatch. Like, I think it should have been more that. You pick your character, they have these things, then therefore you could do this. Like, I think that would have been way better, and it would have been, like, at least, if the game had no advertising, but it had easy characters to learn, then I think it would have lasted way longer. Way longer. And then other friends...
The characters were unique. They did have different skills and different roles. It was a hero shooter in some ways.
Yeah.
But
I think they should
the
have...
thing is that you could then... They weren't locked to their guns. They could... You could select different guns.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think they should have locked them to certain type of guns for certain characters or something.
Highly disagree with that. If you're going with like a much more like Unreal style shooter like that was, definitely allowing you to choose your guns based on your characters and your personal preference is definitely the way to go.
Or you just bullshit it and be like, okay, each character has their main gun, their secondary gun maybe could be anything, or it could be another secondary personal gun to that person, and then the third gun is a literal...
Although it's been a while, so I actually don't even remember if I'm actually right or not.
Okay.
So
like that game, it was just disappointing because I'm like, oh man, that shit looks so cool and weird, and like I can't wait to like do shit in that type of thing, but then it just shut down. I'm like, oh, I was too late to the party.
It wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Like the 3D was more clunky. There wasn't a good way to like move through the 3D space, unfortunately. It just didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I remember playing it and I was like just more confused than I was like actually like entertained playing it.
If that game just simply okay, the multiplayer failed, and I'm sure the studio shut down because why not?
I don't think so. I think they were like a subsec of like some other.
Oh, or the team liquidated
studio.
or something. Like something usually bad happens whenever your product doesn't sell.
I think that offshoot shut down, not the whole studio brand or whatever.
Okay, because like that's the thing is like, let's say it failed, and if the company like I don't know if they had more money, or does someone who's the higher up just be like, no, I think this is still good. It's just we need to reshape the whole thing. So I'm like, what if it was the whole thing was single player? Like a really
They spent so much money. They spent so much money in that game. There's no way they could ever recoup and redo that.
Because like, well, I was thinking they have so much assets already, and I'm like, you could have just slapped more levels, and maybe that could have worked.
I think it's just the generalized interest in the mechanics of the game were conducive to players coming back. Just because, like, I think that the biggest gripe that players had was that the low grav and like the moving through 3D space just was so like unintuitive and not actually fun that like nobody wanted to continue playing it, because like it released to like a decent crowd. Like I think it was like, you know, almost 10,000 people like picked it up and started playing it like day one, and almost like immediately it dropped to 1,000 after a day. So like I think it's just the base game is not conducive to the shooter environment.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just something that you play every now and then. It's just not fun.
Interesting.
Oh, the servers are gone. The game is completely gone.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we got 2 topics left, or 3 topics left. Let's talk about laptops and CES stuff.
Oh, so did anyone show off some folding phones again?
There was folding phones. There was a new Samsung phone, S21. We're going back to the S21 series. And then we also got new laptops, new processors, new announcements. AMD had the worst press conference ever. We got a new graphics card. We got Intel's new announcement about 5000 series, or 11th gen, which is 14 nanometer. Great. And what else? Oh, Asus made my new favorite laptop.
Oh,
this is a new thing. Josh seen it, and I'm debating about spending $3,000.
really?
It is the ROG Flow X13 Ultra 2-in-1 laptop bundle. It is excessive. But it is everything I want in a laptop. It is... If the battery life is good, I will be ecstatic, because it is a 2-in-1 laptop. Okay. It is professional. Perfect. Has a decent graphics card in it. Great. 8-core processor. Fantastic. It comes with a 1920 by 1200 display. It's 60 hertz, but it is touchscreen. So I can do basic gaming and programming on it. Perfect. That's what I want. So
don't worry, it's gonna be out of date in a year anyway.
Oh,
That's how
yeah.
laptops are.
Oh yeah, but like, you know what? Like, I really don't care. I'm debating about buying a new laptop, but it's like I need to kind of wait and see. I want to work a little bit more before I make stupid decisions. Like, I'm already going to make the stupidest decision in my life, possibly, the next coming months. In other news,
If it's getting married, then don't do that.
no, I do not have a girlfriend yet.
Okay, good. You don't have to worry about that, Ned.
Yeah, it's trust me. There was one I would date, and then there was one I would definitely as a fuck buddy. But other than that,
Damn, the fact that you have multiple options is pretty impressive.
I work retail. There's a lot of girls there. As long as they're single, that's fine.
You must be lucky enough to be at least semi-attractive then.
No,
Oh, wow. Are the standards just that low for women nowadays? No, I'm just kidding.
no, I don't think I am. I'm not good looking.
I mean, you probably think that because that's what everybody says, but...
I'm like a massive fuck up, but like I have also been like working out lately. I need a haircut though, so there's that. LG also announced new OLEDs. Their new OLEDs, they are better. They have a QLED. They have a quantum dot film on top of them, so it's going to give you better color reproduction. And this spawned the question of, I don't think OLEDs could get much better. There's no way they could get much better because QLEDs are like, I will play a game of Ring Fit on my QLED and it's like, it looks so fucking good, man. Like, I don't think they could get much better. So there's that. And then what else? Oh, Bob Swan is no longer running Intel. In the first 3 days of Intel's new CEO, he called the company shit.
Oof.
So that is probably the biggest news out of CES is like Intel's put an engineer in charge of Intel. The only way this could get any better, and it's the guy who ran VMware. So like already like you kind of got like a recipe for disaster because VMware is like the fucking king of like virtual machines. Like Oracle VirtualBox, get out of here. Nobody uses it. Hypervisor, yeah, everyone uses it because it's Microsoft and you can get stuff for cheap. But VMware, that's the king because you can run it on anything and then it works. It's just better. But you know what? The funny thing is that the first 3 days he called the company shit and he fucking is like making changes. So who knows? Maybe 12th gen's going to actually be better than anything else. Maybe. That's all that.
Well, that's because AMD snuck up on him and stole everything from him.
But like, this is the second CEO they've had under while AMD has just been like dominating. And like, that's something that's really kind of shocking about that is like, everyone could kind of see, like everyone kind of didn't think Ryzen was going to be the big hit. It's like, oh, what happened at the Capitol Hill? Nobody thought the Trump supporters were going to do what they did, but they did anyways. But yeah.
Nobody thought Trump supporters would be stupid. That's funny.
Nobody
That's
thought
funny.
Nobody thought Trump supporters were gonna like all of a sudden like storm the White House. Everyone thought they would just get drunk and go home.
Clearly
Am I
they were wrong.
Am I wrong?
Like, out of that whole thing, I'm just more and more, I guess, a deep satisfaction of them getting fucked over in their lives real hard.
See, the thing.
Yeah, a lot of them are losing their jobs and shit.
Yeah, like,
See,
how would you? I just find it hilarious that people are pointing out that they're thinking they're going to do this insurrection, and then they're going to change whatever they wanted, and then go back home. Or it will go back home and think they're going to go back to work. I'm like, no, that's not how that works.
Josh, the only thing that makes it an insurrection was the fact that it was storming Capitol Hill.
Oh yeah, but again, I was saying they think they're going to do this, but I'm like, none of that happened, and they end up just getting fucked over.
I don't know.
We're gonna have a revolution, guys.
Yeah, I'm just shocked that, like, you know what? Like, it makes me kind of wonder. Nobody planned for this. Like, how long did the police actually know about this shit? 6, like, a month? 2 months? It was announced for about a month? And you didn't do anything after 7 months of, like, fucking, like...
Because it was white people.
Oh, yeah, totally. Okay, so it's completely okay in order to fucking lower your guard because it's white people? Bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Like, no matter what fucking way you cut it, it's disgusting.
Yeah, well, like, look at what they do for, like, anything that's like BLM. Well, I'm not saying BLM's good. I'm saying when anything about any of that shit's like about to go down, how do they respond? Full riot gear, everything's perfect. You know, they're mobilized and shit. You know, a bunch of Trump supporters are going to DC. Let's just put plainclothes officers in the building, and then when they actually break into the Capitol building, let's block the National Guard from coming. It's okay.
The best part is that
I'm telling you, if BLM pulled that shit, dude, it would have been the National Guard would have been called immediately, and everything would have been completely different.
The best part about that is that you had military personnel. You actually had National Guard invading their own capital.
Yeah.
The best part is that the bullshit that kind of happened was just so transparently destructive. And like, these guys were supporters. You don't do that if you want your side to win a conflict. You just don't.
No, you don't. You don't.
No, you don't. It doesn't matter. Now, you've taken... Like, oh my God, it's just so fucking stupid. I'm sorry, by the way, for bringing this up.
I just find it just kind of both hilarious and very disappointing.
If you rioted in the Capitol riots or Black Lives Matter riots, you're a piece of shit in my books. I don't care.
What if they did?
Agreed.
What if they did both? That'd be amazing.
Then you're a super shit.
If you're rioting in general, you're just a piece of shit. That's not how you get your opinion across.
Yeah, I don't care if you are rioting because the football team lost the big game. I don't care if you're rioting because the Oilers lost the Stanley Cup. I don't care if you're rioting because of some person getting kneeled on for 8 minutes. That's not okay. There's better ways to get across your message. Like, you can, but the problem is like the American system is so fucked up and so damaged. It's to the point where it's like you need $1 million to actually make change. I think it's hilarious that Rand Paul introduced legislation for no-knock warrants. Rand Paul, a Republican, introduced legislation for no-knock warrants. Let that sink in for 20 minutes. You didn't have a Democrat introduce that? What the fuck? Anyways, sorry for making it political. Back to
again.
CES. Bob Swan, and yeah, everything is. It's hopefully this brings good change for Intel because I actually want competition in the CPU space. I don't want AMD to continue destroying people. I mean,
AMD's good, so I mean, it's fine.
I mean, I might get a 16 core, but I have to get a 3090 because I can't have a certain individual have a better computer than me.
I mean, are the 3090s actually performing better than the equivalent AMD cards?
Yes.
Oh. But what about price for performance? Because I feel like you could probably get a cheaper AMD card than you can for a 3090.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The problem is that There's no stock.
Yeah, there's no stock of anything.
Now we have one more topic. Two more topics.
Did you forget about me?
Yeah, do we want to talk about the bullshit Destiny allegations that I'm sure everyone wants to hear? Or the Deep Rock Galactic?
The what?
Deep Rock Galactic.
What the? Let's start with that 'cause I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's a mining simulator.
So
Oh, okay.
it's fantasy mining simulator. So think, you know how there's, dwarves and shit like that in the fantasy world. They're always mining. This is they're going to galaxies and different, space bullshit, and they're mining in certain areas and getting their ores that way. And I'm like, that's basically the whole concept of the game. Like, here, I'll shoot you a link if I could just find it in my game list. Oh, there it is. Basically you are dwarves and you're on missions to get more minerals for the space colony space company. And yeah, it's basically kind of like a jokey / like you're dwarves and you're mining. Of course what are you, a dwarf? What do? You mine. That's basically the whole concept of the game. And and of course, like a lot of games nowadays, there's a leveling mechanic. There's you can prestige your characters, and that also unlocks more perks and cool stuff. There's also your prestiging your characters, and there's your player rank, and your player rank is all based on like how far you are in the game and how many levels you went and stuff like that. And that also unlocks a bunch of new stuff when you're playing the game. There's the link, and to show you kind of like what the art style is. Now, the one thing that actually took me back a little bit when I was first installing the game, it's only 1.5 gigs. I could throw this game on a thumb drive and still have fun. Like, I'm super impressed. And I'm like, what? This game's only 1.5 gigs? What? And then I did more poking around about the game, and I'm like, oh, everything is almost randomly generated. That's why it's so low. And also, like, if you wanted to get the texture packs, you can. There's 5 texture packs, and they're all there's 5 of them, all about $9 each Canadian. So that's not too terrible. And like, yeah, like everything you want in the game is in the game, and there's just extra texture packs if you really like the game. You don't want to look a little different, and it's just you and your friends just going through dungeon, or going through the, I guess kind of dungeons, but you're going through caves and cave systems, and just trying to get as much ore as you can against a crawling wave of bug monsters trying to eat your ass. And it's all super good and fun because a lot of the mechanics in the game is just about like, the minerals are on top of the wall of this cave. How do we get there? Don't worry, I can shoot platforms on the wall. They stay there permanently, and we can all jump up there and get the minerals. Sweet. And that was there's 4 different classes, and one of them was what was that? One was gunner, one was engineer, and the other one was scout, and the third one, and the last one, I'm forgetting the freaking name. I think it's engineer? No, I was engineer. Whatever. But anyway, the guy who makes platforms, he has a shotgun, I think, and also he has a different type of gun, and everyone has their own different unique abilities and different weird things that they can do. And my character I decided to choose as was the digger slash engineer, which basically he can dig super well, and he could just go through almost anything. And also he has a lot of explosives, and also he has a flamethrower. And also everyone has a grenade ability, and my grenade ability is a little different than everyone else's. I just throw battle axes at people. So basically when I see a big monster come out of like a wall, I just throw my battle axe at it, and 1/3 of his health disappears. So I'm like, I should keep throwing these axes more often. These are pretty good. And yeah, like the game's just a lot of fun. And if you actually have like, including if you only play it on single player, because if you, let's say you play the game in single player and you're like, I don't really have friends and I just want to play the game and just get the experience for it, you can actually get a robot buddy just to help you dig stuff and like shoot stuff with you and all of that stuff. You can do it on your low sum, so which is pretty nice. Like they also try to balance it in both ways. And
that's one of the things that sucks about like if you buy a co-op game and then don't have anybody to co-op with.
Yeah.
Although I guess you kind of have to like.
It's the perfect game to play with people.
Yes, it's really cool to play with people. Although the thing you have to worry about though that friendly fire is on. So
murder everyone. So just
I bet that
murder.
was just some fun shenanigans.
Oh, that's actually annoying shenanigans because when a player dies and you don't have the ability to revive players, the game's over. You can't. The game auto quits, and you're like, "What the fuck happened? I thought I had full health."
Oh, that's
it's like,
lame.
yeah. So it's like you have to really race to get that perk, but once you got it, you're smooth sailing from there on. Which I kind of think that should have been just a main mechanic you should always have, but whatever.
Or a dedicated class for it, maybe.
Maybe. I think just the way the game type it should just have like everyone could just resurrect no matter what's happening. Or perk on top of that to be like I can just auto heal myself and then go back into the fight or something. But yeah, like a lot.
Or maybe it just should have been like reses a cooldown, then you get a perk that reduces the cooldown, so you can do it more often.
Yes. That also should be a thing. But
I don't know why they put in co-op games. They put in friendly fire and then don't have any resing. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I think later. This game. I think when like later they always updating the crap out of this game. I think they were like update 23, 24. Nope, sorry. They're on update 27. I think later on they could just still update it and be like, okay, we'll just make it so everyone could just fucking auto resurrect people and that'd be fine. Like they're constantly still doing stuff to the game. And there's like just so much stuff you can do. Like you can mine the minerals off the walls, and depending on the minerals you have, you can call for more ammo. Depending on the stuff you mine from the one level and you escaped, you can upgrade all of your shit depending on the stuff that you have. Each character has their own unique set of abilities and traits. That'd be like one guy digs well, the other guy can actually set up grappling hooks. So that you can have a grappling hook on one side of the cave and you can have a grappling hook on your side and get up to higher reach places and stuff like that. And that's also super useful. There's a character who can make platforms out of nothing. And the scout, I'm afraid no one's been playing scout, so I just have no idea what he does. But everyone's like, man, this game is actually like a lot of fun. And I'm like, yeah, it's super cool. And trying to defend from the bugs and like get all your different traits and figure just kind of like the what's it called, the loop, the gameplay loop. It's just like get your shit, upgrade your shit, go back in there and play it again, and you feel a lot more powerful, and you feel a lot more like you could do more stuff. Once you figure out how your weapons work and your abilities work, you feel like you do a lot more, and it's like it just kind of doing that over and over. And yeah, so it's like it's real good, and it does feel like you're a space dwarf trying to mine some shit out of the whole cave. And yeah, like I'm not sure what the story is per se, but it's just more of like you just dig. That's what you do.
You dig a hole.
Yeah, you dig a hole and you get the minerals and you come back with the minerals.
Diggy diggy hole.
Yep, diggy hole.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, way to steal my joke.
Well, everyone likes digging holes. I prefer the metal version.
I like both.
Yeah.
What can I say?
So I highly recommend Deep Rock Galactic. It's just real good, and the art style's good. The random generation's good. I think everything about it's pretty good. It's just good.
You just like indie games. What can I say?
Exactly. Now, I think the only gripe about this one with Deep Rock Galactic is you start realizing that, okay, so all the minerals are just on the side of walls of the caves. You can dig into the walls and just start caving in, like start making your own tunnel. But the thing is like that's kind of useless, and it's kind of like, well, you're not necessarily going to find another vein like you would in Minecraft if you keep digging, because it's not really built like that. It's more of like you get into an arena, randomly generated, and you start going out and finding more stuff within that arena, and then you just, you know, escape out of that arena. And that's pretty much what it is.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's like, it's not quite Minecraft, but it's Minecraft enough where you can still have fun with it. So it's like, you can still dig out, like, staircase if you want to with your, with the digger guy. And, or if you want to, grappling hook to the random spot you need to get the mineral. And, yeah, like, it's also a lot of little touches in the game just make you like, oh, there's a lot of heartfelt, you know, nods and like, oh, they really did their darnest with like whatever size team they had to make it real good as fuck. Like, good, so good. It's just like, if anything, this type of if anything, this game's so polished to the point I'm like, I never felt like I run into a problem anywhere. It feels like it came from a AAA developer, like back in the day when AAA was actually meant it's something good. Like, yeah, I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10? Okay.
10 out of 10.
10.
Okay. Well, Ben, you gotta talk about Destiny now.
All right. The long and the short of it is I saw this post on Reddit about the thing I like, the article, right? Where it let me pull it up here. I'm so prepared. Perfect. So another Twitch streamer dropped this 39-page manifesto after he basically lost his job and all this shit from what Destiny and another streamer did. What was it? Trying to find his name. I think it was Bose. Yeah, it was Bose. So Destiny and Bose apparently put up a bunch of like false allegations towards this other streamer called Bob7, and was saying that like Bob7 was trying to like dox Destiny and some shit, and pretty much like just straight up trying to cancel him. And so Bob was like, fine, like, you want this war, I'll give it to you. And then literally just types up, like I said, a 39-page Google Docs with 250 screenshots to back up all of his allegations, and then just dumps it on Reddit. And from what I was reading in the comments from the people that actually bothered to read this thing, because it's fucking huge, it's pretty fucking damning for Destiny and Bose. That they, like... They're huge pieces of shit, apparently.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it says Bob7 claimed Destiny sought to wage a campaign to ruin his life after Bob7 had privately begun warning the woman in Destiny's life that he is a dangerous individual.
Not surprising.
So,
he's a dangerous individual? Like, in what way?
I think it's just that's just the quote unquote thing that he said. I don't know. I did not have the time to sift through this.
It's that bad.
It's just so large. Mm-hmm. There's a literal table of contents.
Wait.
Of like on this, and it's literally like debunking VOD deletion, allegations of from the Destiny video, and then a timeline starting from the 10th all the way to the 4th of January. Mm-hmm. So not from the 10th. I'm sorry, the 10/17. So is that October 17th? If I got that right.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
So yeah, this is over so many months.
Huh. So many months.
And it's just like, it's crazy. I'm trying to find that where he said to this to his woman in his life, quote unquote. But I can't even begin to want to sift through this. because it's so much. But it's like when you throw 39 pages of like allegations at somebody, I kind of feel like you're serious.
I mean, you don't really kind of go like, "Oops, I didn't mean these 39 pages."
No.
Or I'm lying about 39 things with proof.
And
like
evidence.
to manufacture 39 pages worth of evidence and then 250 screenshots and then to like make it not obvious like you're lying or like it's photoshopped or whatever, it would be incredibly difficult and time consuming.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking damning, man.
Yeah, it's wild the shit that goes on Twitch.
I mean, everything that happens is like Twitch is just such a fucking dumpster fire, man. And these people sit there and they just act as if like they're so innocent. And it's just like, no, they're not. They're not innocent. These people sometimes are self-centered assholes, and like Destiny is not a fucking perfect individual in the slightest. He's gotten
I don't
wrecked.
even think he's a good person either.
He's gotten destroyed multiple times by multiple people.
Which is insane that he still has such a massive audience and following too at the same time. Like how did you manage this?
It's because people don't want to fucking accept that their side. It's because the people he debates are actually on the other side. So, like, they'll sit there and they'll be like, I'm smashing the Republican or I'm smashing the libs. And it's like, when he gets destroyed, he's not, his side still loves him because he still did something. It's not a conversation. It's just smashing other people. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw him on God, what was that guy? There's this one like African guy that interviews people and roasts them really hard. And he was interviewing him, and it was just like these two like huge assholes just like butting heads with each other. I'm just like, this is the glorious fire that everybody loves.
I don't know. It's just disgusting.
The only other Twitch news that I know of that's like actually large is that Asmongold has quit.
Asmongold?
Yeah, he's gone on a indefinite streaming hiatus.
Is he the guy who? Hold on. Is he like a big WoW streamer?
He is the largest WoW streamer. Probably, I would say. Almost everybody knows who he is. But people are speculating that it was because when he was playing Rust, his fans were just roasting him the entire time, and like it was just super toxic and negative in his chat the entire time. And I think he was saying that he just doesn't do well under those situations, and he was just like, you know what, if I can't play anything else besides WoW, and he's so like disheartened with WoW, like he's just kind of like over it.
Yeah.
That like, he wants to play other stuff, and then he can't play anything else. Because his fans just like roast him for it and just like constantly like toxic about it, that he's like, you know what, I guess I'm just done with streaming then. I mean, he's probably fucking filthy rich at this point. So if he doesn't find enjoyment anymore, then what's the fucking point, right?
Right.
Might as well just like invest your money and like do whatever you want.
Right. You can just kind of play whatever game you kind of want, and then you're not going to get fucking destroyed.
Yeah, he can do what like Bed Banana does, where he just jumps in other people's streams.
Yeah.
Like he can just end up in other people's streams and just have fun and not have to deal with his chat anymore.
Yeah. Because like if that's just the issue, then that's the issue. And it sounds like to me like that's the issue. Is like fans.
Yeah, fans are like almost your worst enemy in some situations. Like like I just said, like even before with like Uncle Roger and Dumpling guy, you know, like their fans are just like bullying each other, and it's just like I wouldn't want to be famous just for that reason, just because like people are so fucking shitty.
Oh yeah, people are always shitty. Like people sit there and they just fucking. People are just terrible people.
Yeah, it's really lame. It's really lame.
Mm-hmm.
What's his tweet?
It's Nicolas Cage doing another film that is. It looks like it's meant to be FNAF the movie, but it's not.
What?
Literally FNAF the movie. Like, it looks like it's meant to be that, but it's not.
That's kind of funny.
Like, it's so weird.
He's being so overly dramatic. I love it.
Yeah.
This is too funny.
Yeah. I'm watching this.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. It looks so funny.
Oh yeah. Looks.
Is he just like seeing all like the scary shit happening and he's just not reacting to it? Because like there was the blood where it's like it's your birthday and he just kind of like stares at it. He's like whatevs. Oh my!
I'm just watching.
Oh no!
Oh, he's being the.
Oh my god! I want to watch this now. This is too hilarious.
I want to watch it too because it just looks so cheese.
What is this called? Is this called Wally's Wonderland?
Yep, Willy's Wonderland.
Oh, Willy's Wonderland. This is honestly, this looks so dumb that it's funny, and I honestly think it's great.
Yeah, like, I mean, he did another movie before. It was just
Lucy.
This, yeah, Lucy. Like, it's just this like crazy.
No, wait, hold on.
Like, it's just as crazy psychedelic as this. What looks like this movie's gonna be. Like, him doing these crazy psychedelic movies is like, yeah, you're probably the only type that could probably pull this off well, because you are that type of person who has a switch of crazy and not. Like, you don't have a middle.
Hold on. I think it's called Lucy. I know Mandy.
Oh, Mandy. Okay.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Nick Cage in forever. Although this movie looks too fucking funny.
Yeah,
Here
I would recommend Mandy simply because like the soundtrack is. Mandy is one of those like that, like, oh, the soundtrack is also pretty pumping because it's like full of metal.
I gotta link this in my other Discord because it's just too funny.
Yeah, I see it.
That's a good laugh to end the night on for sure.
Yeah, so anyways, thank you everyone for listening to the Black Mind Games podcast episode 282. You can listen to us every Thursday on blackmindgames.podbean.com. And subscribe to us to your favorite podcasting app of choice. Also, thank you for Ben and Josh for joining. We were trying to get another host on the show, but she didn't respond because she's a traitor. Horrible person.
Sure, traitor.
We'll call her a traitor.
Post.
Yeah, well, I have to cut a lot out of most.
Cut.
Cut. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
All right, I'll turn mine on right now.
Oh, well, it's going to get edited out anyways. All the terrible, horrible jokes. I think that might be the first joke I've made that has been in poor taste around Ben.
I honestly could not care anymore or any less.
I think that, like, but, like, that's the thing is, like, you're such a calm and relaxing person. Like, I mean this in utmost respect. You're such a calm and relaxing person that you just sit there and you're just like, eh. Like, I've seen white kids get more pissed off about certain words than anyone else, and you're just like, eh.
Okay, here's the thing, okay? That took 20 years to learn. And it takes lots and lots of effort, and it's something that I wish more black people could learn.
The thing is like, my thing is like, the only times I will ever say that word is if somebody is saying it to a friend of mine. And I will use it right back at that person, because at that point, there is no reason that word is off the table at that point. If you're going to sink down to that level and you're going to call my friend that, then you are that. I don't care the color of your skin. You are being worse than that.
I just ignore them at that point, because once you get racist, there's literally no point for me to bother engaging with you anymore.
Yeah. And you have such like an interesting like perspective, or not an interesting perspective. You have such a more of a strength and perspective. Like, it's hilarious to me though that we still haven't learned the lesson that Martin Luther King tried to teach the world of judging a man by their character and not by the color of their skin. Like, that's really the issue here, is like, we can all get past that. It's very easy. You just talk to the person for 5 minutes.
True. Everybody can be a piece of shit if you just think everybody can be a piece of shit.
Yeah, everyone's a piece of shit at the end of the day, too.
Yeah, and there's always going to be something that you don't agree on with somebody, and it's just like, there comes a point where you just have to accept that. And then once you accept that, and like you're like, hey, you know what? I don't accept what that one opinion you have, but I can still be cordial with you, or I can still be friends with you. Because yes, you can have a shit opinion on something, but that doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, I need to cut you off because of your one shit opinion. It's like, actually, I guess I have another topic for the podcast then, along that line. Then I guess I should write this down so I don't forget.
I'll just write down
Because I will if I don't.
games I've actually played.
I actually just saw this recently, which is actually kind of funny. I'm just gonna throw this in the topic resources for that, and then
Oh boy.
I have to log into Instagram in order to fucking see somebody's Instagram.
Yeah. It's fucking shitty.
Oh no, I went to the wrong Instagram. Oh no, I didn't. What? I don't want to log in. That's stupid. I don't even have an account.
Oh, by the way, I got nothing. I got some work done on the game. I think I fixed the fucking bugs that we were having.
Oh, that's good.
So, do we have any other topics this week? Deep Cock Galactic.
It's not.
I saw
this
you
works.
guys playing that, and then I felt like joining in, but then I was like, nah.
It is pretty good. You know,
It's a game I wanted to play, but I never brought it up because I thought you guys would have been like, no.
I mean, it depends. Like, timing, and also it depends. The only reason I decided
There,
also,
I'll just put that there because that's the best reference.
Okay.
the only reason why I decided to pick it up as well was like, okay, it is cheap enough, and there does seem to be a decent enough gameplay involved.
It just seems like a game that, like, I really would really enjoy, but yeah. I'm sad because it's like, oh no, me and an individual are no longer friends. Because of reasons. Anyways, should we start the show?
That's why I cord.
If this is all we're getting, then might as well, right?
All right. Thank you. So, sync in. 3, 2, 1.